Wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
The Khamzat fight's what I want. I want to take this. It's not even a doubt in my mind. Khamzat is a strong guy, but I know for a fact that he's never felt power like this. In this case, he has a gun and I have a tank.
Now it's my time. Yeah, don't run too much. Let's wait, man.
And just lastly, who do you see taking the belt at 185?
At 185? Listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker's gonna get him. Hey, don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone.
Khamzat Chimaev has just threatened Dricus Du Plessis ahead of their upcoming anticipated clash. On the other hand, Dricus Du Plessis sent a strong message to Khamzat Chimaev before their upcoming battle, making it clear that this is the matchup he's been aiming for, and he has no hesitation about it. While giving Chimaev credit for being a strong opponent, Du Plessis insisted that Khamzat has never experienced force like his. He explained that his physical strength is in a different category, and he's not worried about being outmuscled. Du Plessis also shared his belief that once the fight moves beyond the second round, things will start going in his favor without much trouble.
The Khamzat fight's what I want. I want to take this. It's not even a doubt in my mind. Khamzat is a strong guy, but I know for a fact that he's never felt power like this. In this case, he has a gun and I have a tank when it comes to the strength. There's not a middleweight that's going to overpower me. It's not going to happen. Once it goes past round 2, it's going to be smooth sailing.
However, Khamzat Chimaev gave Dricus Du Plessis credit for becoming champion, but raised doubts about how solid his grappling truly is. He pointed out that Robert Whittaker managed to take Du Plessis down, using that moment to show that Dricus still has weaknesses on the mat. Khamzat showed no lack of confidence, hinting that if Whittaker could pull it off, then he could likely do it even better. He also suggested that Du Plessis has yet to deal with the kind of non-stop pressure and elite wrestling that he brings, making it clear that he believes he has a clear route to winning if they ever face off.
Wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
Dricus Du Plessis recognized Khamzat Chimaev's skills and unbeaten record, but questioned the level of competition he's faced, saying that outside of Robert Whittaker, Khamzat hasn't really gone up against elite opponents. He reminded everyone that this is mixed martial arts, not a grappling contest. Du Plessis admitted he might not be the top guy in wrestling, striking, or jiu-jitsu individually, but argued that when it all comes together, no one does it better than him, hence why he's the champion. He also threw some shade at Khamzat's time at welterweight, pointing out he never captured the title there, and now that he's moved up, Dricus is ready for him. Let's go.
Khamzat is an incredible fighter. Nobody has been able to beat him, but he hasn't fought anybody of note other than Robert Whittaker. That is it. This is not a grappling competition. I am not the best grappler, wrestler, or striker. When we mix it all up, I am. That's why I have this. He couldn't even get a title at welterweight. Now he wants to come to middleweight. Great, let's go.
However, after defeating Sean Strickland, Khamzat Chimaev warned Dricus Du Plessis that he's coming for the belt next, saying no champion can escape his pressure, power, and undefeated hunger.
Now it's my time. Yeah, don't run too much. Let's wait, man.
Moreover, Dricus Du Plessis said he'll deal with Khamzat Chimaev whenever their paths cross. He mentioned a recent tweet from Khamzat and questioned whether it was really from him or just his management. Dricus joked that when the message makes sense, it's probably his agent, but when it's a mix of broken English, it's Khamzat typing. He pointed out that although Khamzat keeps asking for fights, he hasn't been able to make one stick. Dricus also brought up Khamzat's failed run at welterweight and confidently claimed he won't be grabbing gold at middleweight either, calling it all wasted potential.
Do we have a message for Khamzat Chimaev?
I'll see you when I see you. I think he tweeted something. He actually tweeted, because when his tweets make sense, it's his agent, and when it's just like random English words in a certain, it's him. And he said, this fight, shit fight. Yeah. Bullshit fight, yeah. Well, I mean, trying to get to a fight. Couldn't get the welterweight title. Definitely not getting the middleweight title. Like, talk about a waste of potential.
However, Edmund Shabazian gave his thoughts on the potential matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, saying the outcome likely depends on how the early rounds go. He suggested that if Chimaev is going to win, it will have to happen within the first 2 rounds due to his aggressive grappling style. However, Shabazian leaned slightly toward Du Plessis, praising his toughness and unpredictable movement, which could help him survive tough positions and turn the fight around later. He admitted it's a close call, but pointed out both men bring serious pressure in different ways.
I think if it's the first 2 rounds, I think Chimaev, if he doesn't finish him in the first 2 rounds, Du Plessis should take it. But if it's in the first 2 rounds, if Chimaev's gonna win, it's gonna be in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. What's your official pick?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to lean towards DDP because he's a tough dude, man, and he's just so awkward, and you never know, he might scramble out of those like positions Chimaev puts him in. But Chimaev is a dog too, man. The guy doesn't stop, and he's relentless with his grappling.
Kamaru Usman shared his thoughts on the middleweight division, emphasizing that people shouldn't underestimate Khamzat Chimaev. He reminded everyone how many doubted Khamzat before the Robert Whittaker fight, but said Chimaev is incredibly skilled and powerful, capable of surprising anyone. At the same time, he gave full credit to Dricus Du Plessis, pointing out that he's the champion for a reason, having defeated 3 former champions in a row. Usman stressed that all fighters deserve respect for stepping into the cage, putting everything on the line, no matter how fans might judge their performances.
Yeah. And just lastly, who do you see taking the belt at 185?
At 185? Listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker's gonna get him. Hey, don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone. But Dricus Du Plessis, you can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back to back. So hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. You know, I know people at home were spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk, oh, he had a bad performance, he had a boring one. But hey, you have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, you know, in little bitty gloves and damn near underwear and bare their soul in here. So you have to respect that.
Caio Baralho weighed in on the matchup between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, admitting it's a tough call. He said every time he doubts Du Plessis, he ends up being proven wrong, but Chimaev's early round aggression makes him a dangerous opponent. Caio believes if Khamzat finishes it quickly, he has the edge, but if it drags on, Dricus could take over and make it a difficult night. Despite the risk, he leaned toward picking Khamzat while also admitting that Du Plessis might prove him wrong once again.
That's a hard one, because every time I bet against DDP, he shut my mouth. So it's hard, but he's facing Khamzat. You know, Khamzat is very hard in the first or second round, so I think he can get it done real fast. But all the way, if not done real fast, I think Dricus, you're gonna make him have a hard night. So I'll go Khamzat. Maybe Dricus will shut my mouth again, but I'll go with Khamzat.
Bilal Muhammad shared his thoughts on the potential clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis. Even with his past issues with Khamzat, Bilal showed support for him, but pointed out that Khamzat hasn't faced many strong wrestlers lately, mostly striking-based opponents. He noted that Khamzat has shown some vulnerability in grappling exchanges before. Bilal believes Du Plessis, known for his toughness and solid wrestling, could present real problems. Regarding Khamzat's gas tank, Bilal said cardio won't be a concern if the fight ends early, but he doubts Dricus will go down easily given his resilience.
Dricus Du Plessis.
But when you're looking at the guys he fought stylistically, right, he hasn't fought a guy who trying to take him down yet. It's all been strikers. His last two, it's Adesanya and Strickland. Like when he fought Brunson was killing him the first couple rounds. Yeah. And he just gassed. You know, we've seen him get taken down by Brunson. We've seen him get taken down by Whittaker. He's gotten taken down by guys so easily. That's why I think Chimaev's going to walk through.
I know that's your boy, but Khamzat has got some of the worst cardio in the entire company.
You don't need cardio if you finish the guy in 2 minutes.
But Dricus isn't going to get finished. He's got an iron chin and an iron will.
Bo Nickel expressed that he sees Khamzat Chimaev as having the advantage advantage over Dricus Du Plessis because of his powerful grappling ability. As someone with a strong wrestling background himself, Nickel admitted his viewpoint might be slightly partial, but he stressed how important grappling has become in today's MMA scene. He cited names like Merab Dvalishvili, Islam Makhachev, Bilal Muhammad, and Khamzat as examples of how grappling-focused fighters are dominating the highest levels of competition. He also pointed out that even skilled strikers like Robert Whittaker have solid wrestling bases. In Nickel's eyes, this kind of strategy is very tough to stop or even handle in modern-day fighting.
I would, just based on the styles, I just think that the grappling style, I might be biased. I'm definitely biased, but I think the grappling style is so hard to beat, and it's so hard to defend against. And I guess if you look at it from a analytical point of view, you have so many. It's really become the dominant force in the sport. You got Merab, you got Islam, you got Bilal, you got Khamzat. You even have you can even look at Topuria. Obviously, people know he's more of a boxing style, and he does a lot more striking. But his background is wrestling. He did that before anything else, and so it's really wrestlers that are dominating, grapplers that are dominating the sport right now. And so I think that I would give the edge to Khamzat.
Bo Nickal also mentioned that although Khamzat Chimaev has looked impressive so far, he hasn't really been tested in the later stages of a fight. On the other hand, Dricus Du Plessis has shown he can go multiple rounds and still deliver strong performances. Nichols said that if their fight reaches the 4th or 5th round, Du Plessis might gain the upper hand and create a real chance to take control. Still, even with that possibility, Nichols believes wrestling will be the deciding factor and still favors Khamzat because of his edge in grappling and his ability to control opponents on the canvas.
But we still have yet to see Khamzat ever fight a 4th and a 5th round. We've seen that from DDP, and so that's where he would have the advantage. If it goes deep, 4th and 5th round, I think that DDP might be able to pull it out. But all in all, I think the grappling style is definitely an overwhelming style to try to deal with.
Luke Rockhold believes that victory in a fight doesn't always come down to who is more skilled technically, but often to who has the stronger desire to win. Speaking about a potential clash with Khamzat Chimaev, he described Chimaev as a fierce and relentless competitor. However, Rockhold pointed out that if Chimaev fails to dominate with his wrestling or establish control early, the match could slip away from him. He suggested that in a drawn-out battle that stretches into the later rounds, the edge would go to the title holder Dricus Du Plessis.
It's not always about the most technical guy, it's the guy who wants it more. And
how do you think he fares against Khamzat?
I think Khamzat is a go for broke kind of guy. Khamzat, if he can't out wrestle you, he can't control you in that fierce state of direction of what he does. I think he'll break. Khamzat will get him if he'll get him, but if he can't get him, it's going to be a hard 3rd, 4th, and 5th round.
Right.
I think that's going to be all Dricus.
So if it goes into the championship rounds, you like the champ?
Yeah, 100%.
Who wins, Dricus Du Plessis or Khamzat Chimaev?
Sean Strickland shared his thoughts on a potential bout between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, focusing mainly on their grappling styles. He noted that even though Chimaev fights out of Sweden, his wrestling roots come from the Chechen system, which Strickland said he's encountered during his own training. He acknowledged that grapplers from that background are tough to handle, but said their style can be neutralized with smart tactics. Strickland believes that if Du Plessis can block Chimaev's wrestling and set the pace himself, he could clearly win the contest.
It's hard. So those little Chechen fucks, I don't want to say Chechen, he's not Chechen, he's Swedish, but those little Chechen whore, dude, they can grapple. And someone like me, who I've been training with these fuckers for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if fucking Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down, I sparred the fucking Chechen whore, hands down, I think Dricus wins.
Still, Strickland's breakdown was mostly eclipsed by a shocking and inappropriate remark he made about Khamzat Chimaev and others from similar regions, tying it unfairly to Chimaev's Islamic faith. The statement triggered a major backlash online, with many accusing Strickland of pushing xenophobic and anti-Muslim ideas. Although his technical take on the fight was valuable, the controversy surrounding his comment pulled focus away from the matchup discussion and reignited broader conversations about cultural sensitivity and respect in MMA.
But it's just going to come down to are you going to be able to stop that I can be able to counter wrestle. And like you can, it's not hard. You just gotta like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
But you know, I've been training these little terrorists forever. So it's like.
Daniel Cormier spoke enthusiastically about the upcoming showdown, calling it a thrilling and high-level contest. He explained that one way to get an emotional rise out of Khamzat Chimaev is by questioning his bravery, which tends to get a fiery response. Cormier also talked about Dricus Du Plessis' unusual techniques and his knack for striking from odd angles, noting that it makes the matchup much tougher than it appears on paper. He said that in the past, many fans might have seen Chimaev as the clear favorite, but those holding that view today don't really grasp the complexities of mixed martial arts. Cormier expects this to be a fast-paced and competitive fight that fans will definitely enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight, and you're right. You want to piss off Khamzat, call him scared. You want to make Chimaev mad, call him afraid of anything. Yep. And he'll come at you like a bat out of hell. I think it's a great fight. I think Dricus's awkward ability and his ability to create different angles to make you not recognize what you're seeing makes it a much tougher fight than most people may anticipate. A couple fights ago, everybody would have thought Khamzat would just run through Dricus Du Plessis. But if you today feel that way, you're out of your mind. If you today can openly say, Khamzat Chimaev is just going to run through Dricus Du Plessis and is not going to be competitive, you have no idea what mixed martial arts is. This is going to be a fun fight. It's going to be a good fight.
Cormier further noted that, unlike the dynamic between Chimaev and Strickland, there's no shared training history between Du Plessis and Chimaev. Still, the tension between the two is unmistakable. He believes their opposing approaches and clashing personalities will lead to a fascinating encounter inside the octagon and bring extra excitement during the lead up to the fight. In Cormier's view, their clear dislike for one another will only increase the drama in what is already an intense and important matchup.
And I can't wait to watch it. I think that these two guys, we know that these two guys don't like each other. We don't have the backdrop of them training prior like Strickland and Khamzat had, but you can tell they don't like each other. They are so completely different. And I think in that different is going to make for not only a good fight, but also a very fun build-up to the fight.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson also offered his take on the middleweight title fight, saying that the ability to dictate the tempo will be crucial. He believes Du Plessis could outshine Chimaev in the stand-up game if he avoids being dragged into a grappling-heavy contest. Johnson mentioned that Chimaev has shown signs of slowing down in the later stages of fights before, and thinks Du Plessis' odd and hard-to-read striking could give him an edge. Still, he cautioned that Chimaev's wrestling remains a big threat, and Du Plessis will need to stay alert and ready to counter takedowns at all times.
If Chimaev cannot get him down,
he will. But yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right? I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully fucking mounted, back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him, could not finish him.
Couldn't get him.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever.
Yep.
But if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best.
Yep.
He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be do the kicks, and I think DDP is gonna beat him.
Yeah.
Like
I could see it.
I think Khamzat Chimaev is more athletic, more traditional, but I think that awkwardness of the old what did he say? The lanky man style.
Yep.
I think DDP is gonna put in the bag.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.